What is going on, Internet? And welcome to another ARFCOM review. Today, we're going to be doing a cowboy action review of both the Henry Big Boy Brass lever action gun here, chambered in 357, and then their revolver that is also in 357. That means you can shoot 38 special. There's a lot of interesting conversations to be had about having a paired grouping of a carbine and pistol that shoot the same caliber. But first, let's get a quick word from our sponsor.
Today's title sponsor is TNVC.com, your source for good old-fashioned, all-American night vision, just like Mom used to make.
See at nighttime. Nighttime seeing is important. Don't you want to see things? Seeing things is better. What's so wrong with you? You don't want to see things. TNVC.
And by Vault Pro, proudly manufacturing the finest American-made safes, vault doors, safe rooms, and storm shelters. When you buy from Vault Pro, your safety, security, and privacy is their only priority. Vault Pro has never and will never release your information to another party. And by PWS, now offering their advanced BDE suppressors in 4 caliber options, 7.62, 9mm, 22, and 5.56. These suppressors offer revolutionary sound control, all while remaining lightweight and tough. Easy to clean, easy to install, and easy to maintain. These suppressors will make shooting even better than it was before.
So Henry decided that they've been making lever guns for a long time, and they decided to make a revolver also to be paired with these. Back in the day, this was the cool kid thing to do, mostly because, like, there was no, like, I guess Costco doesn't sell bullets, but there was no, like,
Cool
Walmart or Cabela's or whatever. Back then, you probably had a rifle, likely more for hunting or for shooting something at distance, and then a revolver.
Like a
probably
dude on a horse.
Yeah, like a dude on a horse. And then reloading one of these, this does have a side gate, which is pretty cool. You could do it in a pinch, but switching to your sidearm is always faster than reloading. So this is probably designed
I've heard that.
to be a backup for that. And I think it's actually a pretty cool pairing. This is the octagonal version. I think the Big Boy Brass, they might all come with this heavier profile barrel. But it's the brass accoutrement, the fingerprint eating brass parts that are on this. Actually, really nice wood furniture. Has a brass butt plate. This is tube fed and side gate fed, and for 7+1 of whichever gun, the casings are effectively identical. And then the revolver is a what do we call it? 0+6 revolver. You have 6 chambers, so I guess that's how that works. But revolver, I believe this is a 4-inch barrel. It's an interesting grip. They have a gunfighter grip and a bird's head grip. We have the gunfighter grip, which we'll talk about. But this guy's $11.24 MSRP, and by this guy I mean the lever action gun. And I think we saw it street fly for much closer to $900. Yep. The revolver's $900 for MSRP or around that. We saw it for closer to just under $800. So pretty reasonably priced for how nice the guns were. We can start with the lever gun. This is a classic buckhorn sight lever gun. You can do the bit of heresy and do the polished EOTech on the drilled and tapped top receiver. But they made this to be more akin to the original. I mean, they didn't try to sexy this thing up. They didn't try to do like what they did with the X model with the high-vis sights.
I don't think it's made for this, but if it were to be a hard use gun, I probably would want to opt for some kind of optic.
Sure, I could see that.
One of my beefs with this gun, or with the lever gun particularly, was the front sight. They made a brass front sight to match the brass furniture on the gun, which looks nice, but when you are shooting in bright environments or shooting into the sun, it's kind of easy to lose, and you can kind of see it, but you can kind of lose it against your background depending on how bright your background is.
I think also it's heavy.
Yeah.
The octagonal barrel is nice, but heavy. There's a lot of meat on the bone on that barrel.
Emphasis on the big boy.
Yeah, you have to be a big boy and buck up and shoot this thing. I do like the loop. This was slightly easier to actuate, I think, than the X model until we broke it in.
It's fine. It's quite not large. It's like not quite large enough to do the flip.
Yeah,
but that's just me being a child.
But this was really pleasant to shoot. 38 Special felt a little underwhelming. Because just for how heavy the gun is, this felt like...
It felt like a 22.
It felt like a BB gun. Like, I wouldn't even give it 22, but, like, this is very... through Ear Pro, it sounded hearing safe.
Yeah. We may have shot it out of a moving vehicle.
Maybe.
And the 38 Special, I feel, was easier to keep on target than the 357.
357 was really satisfying, actually, out of this rifle. And ironically... Shout out to Andrew from the news channel. He did a really cool video before on ballistic testing on 357. It's like right on the verge of rifle-like capabilities out of the exact same cartridge you're shooting out of your revolver.
Oh, you see how big the fireball is that comes out of the revolver when you shoot 357. You're like, oh yeah, there's a little bit of unburnt powder exiting the barrel there.
It's substantial. I much preferred shooting 357 on a lever gun than I did the revolver. But they both handle it just fine. Getting over to the revolver, I had no issues, weirdly enough, with the sights. The sights didn't bother me. I've had blacked out sights before. I've had like an old a GI 1911 that's just all blacked out. They're not 3-dot sights, but you have like a notch and a front sight. For me, the gunfighter grip was weird to begin with. Like you said, when you're shooting 357, it moves a lot in your hand. It's also hard to put your support hand on it. Or at least I had issues with trying to get my left hand on it. The trigger guard makes you move your hand super far down.
Yeah, your thumb placement essentially is like impossible to get a comfortable, consistent like home point.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't really able to get
It's like, where does my thumb go?
Placement, because then I'm putting my thumb in the no-no zone.
Yeah. And then even then, like trying to do really a revolver hold is thumb over thumb. Because of how far down your fingers have to go, getting the thumb over thumb grip was very odd. One-handed shooting wasn't bad. With 38 Special, I was able to group, but it was after lubricating the gun. This doesn't like operating not lubricated. Right out of the box, we did nothing to either one of these guns to go shoot it. In our first outing, almost all of us complained about the double action pull. I thought it was bad, and then we came back and I like checked it, and I was like, "Well, this is like bone dry."
Yeah, shocker. Guns need lube.
Yeah, and so we can instead where we ended up applying lubrication to the gun, and it was like almost a night and day difference. It went from probably heavier to what it was. At the very least, it smoothed out, and I think a lot of that had to deal with there was resistance in the cylinder turning.
Yeah.
And the second we lubricated that, and it became easier, the double action pull is actually really smooth and clean.
Yeah.
The single action, it's single action. It's really hard to screw up single action in a revolver.
Yeah.
This feels nice though. I think the metal that they're using for this, the bluing was incredibly nice and the machining was nice. I just suck at shooting revolvers. You grouped by far the best in our little bill drill for it. It was closer to hand size than my kind of minute of man sized grouping that I had when I tried to do a bill drill with this. But shooting it at a single action, both single and both handed, with both I was able to group. It was fine. We were shooting at about 10 yards. This gun's more accurate than I can be with it, but like it tests and stretches your marksmanship fundamentals, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of a crutch having a lot of those performance upgrades on having a good trigger, having an easy ergonomic way to grip a pistol made a difference. In 9mm, nothing compared to 357. I feel like I could shoot it if I was able to just grab a modern semi, have an actual grip on the gun. It wouldn't be that bad.
I don't think it's like case use. I think these are more so meant to be display guns or kind of like heirloom pieces that you can shoot. The walnut grips are nice, but they're kind of slick.
Yeah.
So with 38 Special, it wasn't so much an issue, but with 357 Magnum, the recoil was enough to kind of like move the gun in your hand. So even like no matter really how hard I gripped it, I was getting some kind of movement to where between each shot, I was having to kind of re-index the firearm in my hands. So it like I had a proper grip. I think, that kind of just might just be me, but I mean, what did you think?
It's we. It's not just you.
Okay.
It's we. I sucked at this thing. There are people that are perfectly dangerous with this setup here, and I don't think with 357 you are not underarmed by any measure. I think it's a perfectly adequate cartridge, and if you train and have the capabilities, really, what's cool about this specifically is this exact setup that's on the table is a 50-state legal way to protect yourself, I think effectively too. And then with the revolver, I think if you had the skill, you could totally do it. That being said, I think anybody that's like, oh, that's perfect, that's the best thing you could use, is being obtuse and contrarian, just to be contrarian for the internet. Oh yeah, you know what? This is going to pass YouTube guidelines. These are both non-semi-automatic.
No magazine to be inserted.
Dude, this is legit. We're going to get fully monetized on this. These are gorgeous firearms. I think I did a really good job. Henry actually did a really good job of making these. I have no complaints as far as that, but that being that I'm a very spoiled kid. I'm a millennial that grew up with millennial guns. There is some things that will, I guess, humble you when you go and try to shoot these things in the wild.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're better at shooting these than we are, let us know in the comment section below. Where can they find us if they want other places to go harass us?
Can be found at AR15com on all the socials, X, Instagram, etc.
Worst case scenario, what I absolutely do not want you to do is to go to the deals page. If you go to the deals page, you might spend money.
Don't do that.
So don't do that. Don't
You
go
might save
to,
money.
Yeah, don't go
It's like
to
gun math, you know?
Yeah, AR15.com/deals. Don't do that.
Swag plug, Josh.
Oh yeah, plug the swag. There is a store at shopar15.com. You can buy. Oh, he's got the shirt on.
Hold on. I gotta pull it down.
We got it.
There
we got it. We have shirt stickers. We're going to be adding hats soon. Probably when this video launches, they should be live. But go buy that, and you can go rep your ARFCOM, I guess, affiliation out in public like we do.
And until next time.
Until next time.
Suck it, nerd.